Hi there, welcome to What's Happening in Brazil. Let's start with the latest news from the country.
Brazilians' disapproval of President Jair Bolsonaro reached 65.3% of poor and the very poor, the worst popularity rating since the beginning of his government in 2019, according to research by the Atlas Consulting Group released by the El País website and the Valor Econômico newspaper this Monday, November 29th. According to the survey, only 29.3% of the Brazilian population assesses Bolsonaro as good or excellent. The government administration as a whole is also going downhill. 59.7% considers it poor or very poor, and only 19% assesses it as good or excellent. With the economic crisis getting worse, there are consequences like the skyrocketing inflation and unemployment increase, therefore making the population's assessment of the economy worsen too. 72.3% assesses the current economic situation as poor and think the economy is going the wrong way. In only 1 week, the city of Rio de Janeiro recorded more than 6,500 H3N2 influenza cases, also known as influenza A, according to the city's health department. The municipality made a new call on social media platforms for the population of Rio to attend health centers to receive the flu vaccine. Health officials fear the virus will spread throughout the state and the country.
The resistance to slavery in Brazil emerged at the so-called Quilombos, communities formed by people who escaped slavery. In these territories, black people could be free, maintaining their culture and identity. This legacy remains alive nowadays in communities all around the country, but many of them still fight to be acknowledged and to receive their lands titling by the government. That's the case of some Quilombos in the Ceará state. Let's know more about the story of the week.
Our territory is known as Enchanted Kingdom, and I do think it is an enchanted kingdom full of queens and princesses.
With a big smile, colorful clothes, and a head adorned by a crown-like scarf, Verônica Neuma das Neves Carvalho, a woman with Quilombo blood living in Terreiro das Pretas in Cariri, transmits the pride she feels for her people and her roots.
Viver nessas comunidades.
To live in these communities is very good because one can count on its people, one can count on each other, one has its story, one belongs to somewhere, you belong to the land and the land belongs to you. That's why we say that land forges people's identity.
Even though they live in a good part of Ceará's territory, to this day, the Quilombola communities there don't have land titling, which guarantees their property. There are 86 communities, being that 56 are certified by Fundação Palmares, Brazil's government agency responsible for acknowledging Quilombos in the country.
In Ceará, we don't have any community with land titling. It's a state that acknowledges us and is proud that, for years before Princess Isabel abolished slavery, here in Ceará there was already a movement led by the Dragão do Mar Court. However, we didn't progress on the land regularization issue.
In 2019, the state conducted a research about Quilombola communities in Ceará. Like every radiography, the report needs to be expanded, but it already points out important indicators.
First, the extent of the Quilombola presence in Ceará, which refutes the false idea that Ceará didn't have slaves. It did have slaves. Ceará was a big slave trade port, and this justifies the fact that we have 86 acknowledged Quilombola communities nowadays.
It's important to rescue history, to know from where we come from, who we are to become stronger. You know that people are prejudiced against those who are descendants of slaves, but we cannot let it affect us. We have to get stronger and stronger. We need to know our identity and origins.
Skill, delicacy, and a lot of patience. Woodcut printmaking is a detailed work. It all starts with the drawing, which is followed by the carving in a block of wood called matrix. Just after this is when the image is printed. In today's Culture Talk, we are gonna know a little more about the art of woodcut.
If you want things to be done fast, if you want fast results, so forget about woodcut printmaking because the process has a moment of researching and just after it, you would transfer the drawing to the wood. You need to remember that when you transfer the drawing to the wood, you must make it mirrored, especially if you write someone's name. You must transfer the words mirrored because it is when you print the name that we will be correct.
The first date-recorded woodcut printmaking is a Chinese work from the 9th century. In the West, the technique spread during the Middle Age.
They are woodcuts with religious inspiration. Woodcut was also intensively used in Europe to reproduce images of saints. But later, in the 13th and 14th centuries, they were very used to make playing cards. I used to say to my students that woodcut came to serve God and the devil.
Professor Costela is director of the Casa da Xilogravura Museum in the city of Campos do Jordão, São Paulo State. The museum has works of more than 1,750 artists and rooms that tell the story of the woodcut technique.
When typography emerges, which is in some sense woodcut printmaking's daughter, they work together. So to illustrate a book, the images will be in charge of the woodcut, while the text will be with the typography with metallic type.
In Brazil, the woodcut printmaking is profoundly connected to the cordel literature, which is very popular in the Northeast region. It was through these books that the artist Pita Paiva had his first contact with the woodcut. Living in the city of Uibaí, in Bahia's semi-arid region, his engravings portray scenes of the local life.
Every day, no exaggeration, people contact me, especially through Instagram, whether it's to call me to participate in lives, to ask for an opinion. Look, my son is drawing. Do you think that one day he can make woodcuts?
All this tradition keeps being strong in Brazil and reaches new spaces.
If you participate in any fair, generally people will buy it, frame it, and put it on the wall. You also see the woodcut printmaking on objects, mugs, plates, and even as prints on clothes, CDs. Woodcut printmaking has been very used not only on book covers and cordel, but on many other surfaces.
And now it's time for Brazilianism.
Today's recipe is a side dish that goes well with almost everything and is easy to prepare. Plantain banana puree. Did you ever eat it? So come with me to learn it. We will use just 3 ingredients and in 20 minutes at most it will be ready. You're gonna need plantain banana, salt, and milk. I'm gonna use plantain banana. The more ripe it is, the sweeter my puree will be. For those who don't know what kind of banana to choose, it can be plantain banana, Cavendish banana, canary banana, whatever. When it cooks, it has a neutral taste, so the puree will look like mashed potato, even its flavor will be similar. It won't be like banana. This is a tip. I'm gonna cook the banana with its peel because the peel prevents my puree of being watery. It will have a super velvety texture. I'll peel the banana off just after it is cooked. Warm the milk using a milk pan. Let it cook until the banana peel breaks. It broke, you see? It means that it is cooked. Now, put the cooked and peeled bananas into the blender. You'll notice that I'm gonna use very little salt in this recipe, just a pinch. I'm gonna pour the milk little by little to prevent it to be watery. I'll blend it and, if necessary, I'll pour more. The banana will be hot and the milk will be warm, and that's enough to give it the puree texture. Be careful not to add too much milk and make a very soft puree. It's done, kisses, and until next time.
Did you like the show? So hit the like button and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to receive notifications. We will see you next week.